Hi everyone, here's another live for you. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, it's Rebecca here. Welcome along. If you're watching this on replay, thank you very much. I will be saving it to YouTube. I'm actually doing something very brave today. I'm going live on 3 platforms, so bear with me a sec. Hello Facebook. It's been a minute since I did a live on Facebook. Welcome to my crazy life. You may hear dogs barking in the background, cats meowing and all sorts. This is how we roll here and we keep it real. So if you have any questions, please don't be afraid to put them in the chat or the comments. However, I'm going to have my head down doing some cooking. So if I miss anything, please send me a message. Hi Kelly. Please send me a message. I'm happy to help. I can help anyone Australia-wide. If you already are in contact with a consultant, I do ask you please go and refer to them. Unless they're perhaps not doing it anymore, then of course I'd love to look after you, whatever the reason might be. So, here we go. Live on 3 screens. I have 3 screens in front of me, so if my eyes are darting left or right, please bear with me. Hello, my darling Taryn, how are you? So let's get cooking. What we're going to do first is we're going to get the stock cooking, and I'm going to do it in my shiny black. So my week, I've saved what I'm making. I'm actually doing pizza dough as well. So I'm going to do the stock, the pizza dough. I'm going to then make some cookie dough because that needs to be fridged before I cook it, or even frozen. It's better that way. I'll give you all my tips and tricks around that. And then we're going to good old Aldi today, and I picked up the eye fillet that they have that they sell quite good price because I want some really nice steak in the stroganoff tonight. And we have visitors, so we're going to be feeding a crowd, so we want lots of good meat. All right. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm feeling like I'm going to be missing stuff. Again, can I just reiterate, send me a message. If there's something urgent that you would like me to answer, please just reach out anytime. I always say to people, I may not get back to you straight away. I will get back to you. It looks amazing, darling. You're so clever. So my beautiful husband is just, we went to IKEA over yesterday and bought a new dinner table. And I could probably just switch you all around quickly to have a look. And he's just wallpapered the wall that was plain white. See there? Everyone can have a quick look. This beautiful design. He is a wallpaper hanger. So we're very lucky. He has skills and has been doing it. We worked out for 40 years, not 50. It's his birthday this week. This week? Next week. Next week, maybe. The 26th. So, very lucky girl. He's a very clever guy. Not only is really good at flat packing, so every time we go to IKEA, he's sort of like, more jobs. But yeah, a master wallpaper all in as well. So, I have the last of a celery bunch that I bought a while ago that really is probably very rare. Well, in fact, that little bit looks a little bit yucky. I might leave that out. Very close to probably almost regrowing stage. You know what I mean? Like when they just get to that point of no return. Oh, hang on. There's a bowl that's been pre-cleaned and not taken off. Thankfully, I have others. Right, let's grab one of them. Okay. Pause for that. Where is that? Where? Sorry. Oh, she's off it now. Oh, a naughty dog. Listen, again, apologies in advance for background noise of puppy yapping and everything else. Please forgive me. All right, let's start again. So, tearing up the scars, because I'm interested to see how much celery I have here, and I'm not stressing. I'm going to use it all, because otherwise I'm going to throw it out. So, 288, so I'm a little bit over. I don't care. It'll work fine. It's just going to be a very full bowl that we are going to have to push it down once we head to the chopping up phase. All right, so we want 2 carrots. I'm going to save a little bit for snacking. I've got one that's a little bit flexy and sad. Don't waste it, just put it in. Stock is a great way to use up anything you have that you might think Oh, better throw that out. Don't throw it out. Make stock. Okay. So yes, this is the new black sparkling machine. I see someone asking. It is, I think, way prettier and nicer than last year's black. I did earn last year's black, but I actually ended up swapping it with a customer who purchased the white and really wanted the black. I love this one. I'm keeping this one. The thing I love the most about it is the surface has actually got a texture to it, and it's not going to show up any marks at all. So I love it. I love the shiny black. We have limited stock of these. I'm not sure how limited that is. That's all we've been told so far. They will sell out. So if you are keen to get one of these, please get in touch because I'd love to. All right. One zucchini cut into pieces. Now, most of the time you might go and buy one that's massive. So today it's a smaller zucchini, but I have that extra celery, so it'll all work out. There's no actual measurement on this. You just want a full bowl of veggies, herbs, and the like. Just cut that end off that carrot because there's another snacking part. I like to snack as I cook, so heads up. Now I've got a bit of leek here. So anyone that's been following along, you'll see I think I've had 4 meals out of this, plus I froze the top for another day stock. So I'm just going to throw that in rather than wasting it. A couple of garlic cloves. Got those here. Oh, I love that your hubby likes to make stock. That's really good. Oh, here it goes in the background. The stock takes around 20 minutes to cook in the Thermomix, so total time about half an hour. And it is a punch of flavour for all your food. And I will say, as I always say, if you don't make it, why? Why don't you make it? It is amazing. She will not leave the cat alone, but the cat also won't leave her alone. So please excuse cats and dogs in the background. Yeah, this is my life now. And we just roll with it here. Don't we, Missy below? Crazy pup. Okay, so garlic's in. Oh, I did not get the bay leaf out. Let me grab my little spice jar here. So I know when I posted this video on, very first time I posted the video of making stock on TikTok, it actually got quite a lot of response about the bay leaf and how can we eat a bay leaf. Oh my God, that's gross, and the like. And I was quite blown away by that because do we really know what's in the stock that we buy from the shops? We don't, do we? And at the end of the day, anyway, never mind. It actually grew my following, so thank you to the people who were the naysayers. I've been out to the garden now. I won't lie. I did actually buy a new basil plant because I did mention the other day mine has just shriveled up and gone. So we'll try again, but I did buy some basil. So all the fresh herbs here are from the garden. So I've got curly and flat parsley. Don't be bogged down by the fact that it does actually say flat parsley. Sage, guys, that is such an easy herb to grow. Look, I know some people seem to have good luck with herbs and bad luck with herbs, but I do encourage you to at least give it a go. Planting herbs in your garden is going to save you money. And it's also beautiful, delicious flavour in your food. And now this stalks only, it says, leaves only rather. I tend to definitely, with rosemary, take it off the stalk. And I've only got a little bit of rosemary here because I have been raiding my rosemary lately. You absolutely can use dry herbs as well. But, yeah, get some herbs growing in the garden. Please, please, please give it a go. Find a patch that gets a bit of sunshine. Stick them in and you generally can just ignore them. I think this is the problem. Half the time they, if you fuss too much or water them, especially things like rosemary, there's a saying, rosemary does not like wet feet. So don't go watering rosemary in the garden. Leave it. Just stick it in the ground, ignore it. One of the best rosemary bushes I ever had was when I lived at Rabina about 3 or 4 years ago. And I literally got 2 pots, stuck them in the ground, at the front door heading into our place, and they just were so luscious, it was ridiculous. Every team meeting I was going to, chopping off the rosemary and taking bunches of it for people to share. And I would have people come over and say, oh, what is your secret? No secret, stick it in the ground and ignore it. So, exactly. Dana, hello you. Anyway, oh look, I missed a bit of parsley, in it goes. So, you do what goes. Now with this, you definitely want on for a minute, poor connection. Everyone's on the internet, everyone's home. Hopefully we're back with sound. Right, so speed 7. Okay, and that's 10 seconds of chopping. So this is designed with, this is the, you can buy these extra if you wanted to, the little green design. But this is a Thermomix that you can go in and help stir without touching the blade. So there we go. What was a chock-a-full bowl of all that is now chopped up to that, which that never gets, blows my mind how powerful this machine is to do that. So scraping that down, because now we're into the cooking stage. And the other thing that went a bit crazy in the comments when I first shared stock was the salt. Now, I get it. People are told don't eat salt, it's bad for you, whatever else. The salt is the preservative of this, and if you went and got a stock cube and licked it, it's particularly salty. So you want to use the right amount to get the whole preservative, keeping it not growing. It won't go solid. You can stick this completely in the freezer and spoon it directly from the freezer. The salt is relevant. So if you compare a stock cube, 1 tablespoon of this is exactly the same sort of idea. All right, so there you go. You can use pink salt, you can use any salt, but I do recommend, please get rock salt. That stuff you buy already processed, again, got that anti-caking stuff in it. You want the real thing. All right, next in the list is a tablespoon of olive oil. Now, I've put a little bit of olive oil in my little squeezy thing. Now, you can bring up your scales. So at the top of your screen, you'll see 3 little dots, scales. Bring them up. 20 grams is a tablespoon, roughly. So use that to measure it out properly. Sorry, just checking on this puppy dog, making sure she's not chewing on the table. I will, go mad. All right, so the simmering basket that I rinsed those herbs in goes on top, and we cook that for 20 minutes. So when that's finished there, she's drinking out of the water. When that's finished there, then we whip it up to top speed and we puree it, we make it into a beautiful paste. That is the last of my last batch of veggie stock. I haven't seen Jade's name popped up, so I would say 2 months I made that, and I gave half of it away to one of my new customers. And this is what's left. So I've got another jar ready with my label on, saying vegetable stock paste. It will pretty much fill that jar. It roughly makes about 600 grams worth of stock. Hey Jill, so 1 tablespoon is the same as 1 shop bought stock cube. Again, use your veggies that are looking a bit sad. Be frugal and be clever with it. Think about what you can do. I have bags of vegetables and the like in the freezer for the times where I want to make stock, and I remember to get them out of the freezer. So my next chicken stock, usually chicken stock is what I use that for. So another example is this part of the leek, that goes into my stock, all right? So don't throw that out. Remember, if you have roots on the bottom, cut the bottom off, sit it in water for a little while, plant it anywhere in the garden, it will regrow. It takes a little bit of time, but it will regrow. So that's another little great thing you can do as well. Okay, that's one recipe gone. So the next we're going to do is the pizza dough. So for anyone that knows, I have a 10-year-old daughter who's relatively fussy, but she loves Mum's pizzas. So what I'm going to do today first is I'm going to grate the mozzarella cheese, and I'm just going to do it old school. So we have our new, cutter, but I'm going to be making the dough. So here's my tip to you all. If you are making dough, grate the cheese in the bowl first. So the cheese stays, leave a bit of cheese in the bowl, make the pizza dough, and it gets that cheesiness in the dough. Another great tip is to chop up some garlic first. So 3 seconds, speed 5, and you can then put the dough ingredients in and you'll get a garlicky flavoured dough. Okay, so lots of different things you can do with your dough. Garlic powder, onion powder as well works. There are lots of things you can do to flavour up your dough. So with that, I just chuck it round to about speed 7. Listen. So, actually would have stopped it a second before that, so 5 seconds in total. Let me grab a container. Lovely. So we have chopped the cheese. I've been told not to say grate, it's not grating. However, if it's getting melted, it doesn't matter to me. So now I'll leave some of the cheese in there and make the dough. So cheese is ready for going on the top of the pizza. It's going to melt. It doesn't really matter how it's grated, chopped, whatever. As long as the job is done, whichever way we do it, easy way is always good to me. All right, let me just grab a container to put that back into. Fit in there. And buy your blocks of mozzarella. So that is there's 2 brands that I buy, depends on which supermarket you're at. This is the Devondale mozzarella, so it comes in a block. So close up to show you, right? And there's also Chia. So Chia used to have a different name. That cheese has a block mozzarella as well. Price point's around $11 or $12 a block. I love it because I've cut off what I need and it seems to last quite well. It's a slightly different consistency to the Bell mozzarella, probably not as genuine, but it's great on a pizza and handy to have in the fridge. So when I see it on special, that's one thing I will shop up a storm and get plenty of so that we don't run out. All right, so to my wheat now. Now another hot tip, if you have a TM6, we have the chop function. So when you swipe across to all your functions, you'll see chop. In there, I'm pretty sure is cheese. So if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. However, being someone who's had a Thermomix for so long, I tend to just do it how I know, and that is speed 7, 5 seconds. All right, pizza dough for 2 is what I'm doing. And let's start. So we need water. Refill from this. I didn't get the yeast out of the fridge. I knew there'd be something I'd forget. So let me just grab that. Of course, there's many ways you can buy your yeast. The most economical is definitely this way. And again, this is a recipe I could do in my sleep. Then we need some sugar just to activate the yeast, so just a little tiny bit. And then we put our lid on and start that process. Then we want our baker's flour. Very important that you have baker's flour. Now, we're very lucky here on the Gold Coast to have had a Costco open up just up the road. I'm thinking this week might be when I go up to finally activate my membership and visit for the first time. It's not my very first time at a Costco. I've been to the other ones around here in southeast Queensland, but it's definitely my first time at the new Gold Coast one. Yes, Kmart, darling. Kmart for these little jars. They're so cute, aren't they? Kmart for these jars. My whole pantry is pretty much Kmart jars. I love them. And even the flour here is in a great big giant Kmart one, although I'm not overly convinced about the seal on it. I will have to watch it. I try not to. In Queensland, the bugs don't tend to be as bad, but you'll see the lid's just not quite, and I've filled with that seal so many times. It does fit quite neatly on the shelf in my pantry though, so I think it'll be okay. But in summertime, I think I'll only be putting small amounts of flour in there just in case, or finding some other container, to be honest, because I do not want bugs. And sadly, Queensland life, the heat and the humidity means we have bugs. Right, that, and then our salt goes in last. So, right. And then the machine does all the work for me. It's going to knead that beautifully for 2 minutes. And then I'm going to set that aside to do its proof while we then move on to make some cookies. So I think I'm doing okay. Facebook, I can see there's some people watching, and Instagram as well, but you guys are very quiet in the comments section, whereas I have TikTok in the middle because the comments just go all the time. So, but anyway, welcome everyone. Please, if you have any questions, if you want to message me, go ahead. My link tree is on all my pages. It is where with all my contact details, so reach out anytime. Taylor, I am, but not yet. We've just got a pizza dough on. We've got stock cooking. Then I'm going to do some cookie dough. That's the plan today. Welcome. Oh, you're a darling. I actually found some other labels the other day, and there's still one that's not appearing, and that is baker's flour. I would love a big baker's flour label for that jar. Baker's flour does not appear in any labels that you buy, and I ideally would love to have a cricket, but I'm also very scared to do that. Hey Mary. Yeah. I don't own one. I just don't think I can go down that rabbit hole. I think I would just spend way too much money on it. I'm already a crocheter, and I have craft up the yazoo in stages of getting things done. And I really shouldn't go and find something else to clog up my house. That's what I have you for, exactly. So, love ya. Right. One thing I will say, when you're cooking your stock, smells amazing, do not eat it. Do not eat it. It's very salty. I have heard funny stories of people who have come home and someone hasn't read the label properly, or perhaps there was not a label on the stock, and they've said something like, oh, your vegetable soup was really salty. So, be aware. Alright, so I love that. I mean, that's pretty nice and easy to clean. I'm just going to do a quick dough pre-clean on that. So a little bit of dishwashing liquid, water halfway, and always importantly, make sure the pins underneath are dry. on your Thermomix because they connect to the motor. So blah blah, swipe across, pre-clean and dough. So when you get your dough out, you just want to form it into a nice little ball, and then I'm going to put it into my server here because it is cool today, although I'm not feeling very cool, but it is not warm dough. I'm going to put it in there and let that rest. That will warm it up and also keep it nice for me. Now the mission is not to forget that. Right, that's my clean bowl ready for the next step, which is cookies. Oh, thank you, Disney. I mean, you know, it's quite thick for a soup, but I guess if you were hungry enough, you might think it was something else. Anyway, right, so the other job I need to do is, with our stroganoff tonight, we're going to have mashed potatoes, and I'm going to steam some beans, because I love beans. Now, where is my baroma? This is probably the most underutilized piece of your Thermomix ever. Don't let it happen. Use your varoma, okay? Again, I've got to put a little bit down to, you know, it's on you. If you've got these things, use them, okay? Figure out how, work it out, whatever, but don't just go, oh, it looks too hard, I don't want to do it, or whatever your excuse might be. It is an amazing piece of equipment that will make your food for big families. It'll do lots of stuff. And yes, I am Melissa. I'm absolutely doing that. Creamy chicken, mushroom pasta, Ash. Oh, that's lovely. Woo! Well done, you. Hopefully you've picked a really lovely consultant to look after you, my love. Okay. So, I'm just going to cut these. Trim the little edges off. And then I use this to wash them. And then they will cook in there as well. So my go-to with mashed potato is from Recipe Community, and it is the no-fail mashed potato. Alright? Thermomix mashed potato is very creamy. So some people don't love it. There are very many ways of doing it. You can actually boil your potatoes first, you can steam them, and then put the you, my love. Good to see your name pop up. Hope all is well. No, well, Ash, I love hearing that. That is fantastic. That is a good news story. We've had a few bad news stories earlier on. So I love that. Ash has someone that she loves and trusts and is amazing as a consultant. So there you go. There are plenty of us good ones out there. I probably know her and I'm sure she is delightful. Alright, so I'm going to keep doing this. And so we're going to have some beans and mashed potato with the beef stroganoff. Again, this is a great way to sort of bulk out a meal. Well, if you're making stroganoff, what would you serve it with? Let me know, because a lot of people have different ideas. Could certainly be pasta or rice, but what's your favourite? Excuse me. She's like a little guard dog, this one. Sometimes, aren't you? Hey, excuse me. Willow. Do you want to go outside? Do you want to go out? You want to go out? No. All right. Oh my goodness. Don't mind the interruptions of life. Aww. I do know her. I know exactly who you're talking about. She's a lovely lady. Yes, indeed. Very nice to hear. Like I said, sometimes we have people saying that they buy one and never hear from their person again. I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah. Make sure when you find a good one, you tell your friends as well, right? So your friends don't go and make the mistake of, you know, hooking up with the wrong person. So share your nice consultants, please and please. Because we are commission-only workers, you know? I don't get paid to stand here and show you how to cook. I mean, obviously I'm doing what I'm doing normally anyway, so I just put a camera on and talk to you while I'm doing it. However, we are commission-based only, and if you find someone that you resonate with, you think is lovely, then please share us, because this is how we grow and we can stay doing what we do. I need more. Looking after you all. Stuff it, let's do the whole lot. Because, yeah, we don't get paid by hour. We get paid when we sell Thermomixes. So if you find someone you love, you have a wonderful consultant, please share her, him, and tell your friends. Because likely, you might not know, but someone you may know may be looking at getting one, and if you don't tell them about us, they'll go looking elsewhere. Does that make sense? Excellent, Ash. Brilliant. You're a good girl. You're the dream consultant. Mary, yes, it's common. But trust me, we're not all like that. And like I've said, I have around 450 odd customers. I can't contact them individually on a regular basis. This is how I do my customer service, by doing lives regularly with you all. Someone wants back in. And inspiring you and all the rest of it. Plus, I have a lot of content on my YouTube as well. Yes, miss. You're a pain. I'm just trying to cook. Come on, look out. You don't even need to be in there, actually. Let's shut that door. Right. Okay. Alright, stock is done. So, you could have either been sitting down relaxing or doing something else, prepping up the next thing. But yes, stock is one of those things, especially veggie stock. I always say, if you were a mum and you were doing it and you had to go and rush off, pick up the kids from school, then just leave the machine. It's veggies, it won't kill you. Turn itself off. When you come back, turn it back on. It'll say, do you want to go back to where you were? Yes, please, and onwards. So, done. Right. Some yucky bits on these beans. These are on special from Aldi today. I just did a quick Aldi shop. Right. Probably could use those for stock, really, couldn't I? I miss having a chicken or chickens. I loved having chickens. It was great to be able to... absolutely, you can, my darling. Well, there you go. Thank you, Mary. That's really lovely. I'm here to help anyone. Now, importantly, though, share me with your friends, okay? Right, where are we? We're here with the stock. Okay, so we're going to remove the serving basket. We're going to pop the measuring cup in as per instructions. Now, this is where your Thermomix might sound a little bit like a small aeroplane taking off, because that's as fast as the processor is, okay? So, bear with me. We're going to go to speed 5. We're going to wait till we hear it catch up to that speed. And then we're going to head up to number 9, right? So this is the sound of you saving money. I love that. pizza dough, a quick wash out and a brush. This bowl is clean and ready to go again. I love the pre-clean function. It just means that the actual cleaning process is going to be nice and easy. Now, cheating ahead of time. All right, so here's our stock. That is piping hot. All right, liquid gold we call that, and you'll see that's definitely up to about the litre mark. So I was pretty bang on saying it's going to fill this jar here, which is an old mayo jar. Don't shoot me. I do buy Helen's mayonnaise. All right. So with that, what I'm going to do now is we're going to get these cookies going because I need that dough to be fridged. Actually, not even recently cooked, my week. Actually, let's do them in the shiny black because I'm feeling a bit like I'm favouring chocolate chip cookies ever. So, hot tip, we have a site called Recipe Community. If you have not heard of it, it's definitely worth a look-see because there are some gem recipes on there. There's also some that maybe are not gems. Always check your ratings over there as well as on Cookie Do, okay? You're watching the thermo cooking lady, that's so cute. So, with saying that, a lot of the Recipe Community recipes are uploaded by normal people, by consultants, and sometimes they're not uploaded correctly. And correctly might not even be the right way of putting it, but they just don't quite transfer to our TM6 as well as they could. Now, if you want help around that, please go to my YouTube, and the link tree on my pages has my YouTube, and there are 2 Cookie Do videos there that explain everything about how to edit the recipes when you're importing them from Recipe Community. All right? If you need any more help around that, reach out, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Check it out. Okay, now the one thing I am going to do as well is, oh no, I'm doing them here. I have imported from Recipe Community to my TM6. Now you can only do that with a TM6. You can absolutely do it manually through a TM5 and a TM31. Recipe Community was our Cookie Do before we had Cookie Do, okay? So, I'm going to hit start cooking. And what I need to do is actually perhaps edit the recipe to double it because, I don't know, it's a great cookie dough. It does make a lot of cookies. But I love having a stash in the freezer. And I'll show you, if you're new here, I'll show you how I do that. You have a little trick. Anyone that follows along knows me well for my cookie making. The cookie jar is sitting here extremely empty and sad. So it needs filling up. Alright, back to school tomorrow. So we need to get the cookie jar full. Alright, so the first part of the recipe is the butter. I actually am doubling it again, so I need to double everything here. So we want 250. It's way too early for dinner yet anyway, so this is going to be a long video. So please, if you are watching it on replay, slide the video along and fast forward the boring bits perhaps. Close, there we go. Feel free also to, drop out and come back, but you might miss some really important information that I might just come out with. That's the only thing. All right, sugar, white and brown. So we're going to tear. I'm not quite going to double these things because the sugar is, it's a lot. They are cookies after all, but you can definitely get away with adding a little less. So I'm coming to the end of this, that's my tall skinny one, the end of my brown sugar in this jar. So I want to head up to It's not quite double there. Alright. I might put a tiny bit of coconut sugar in just to make up the difference. Actually. No, panela. It's the panela or rapadura sugar. Slightly less processed because I want to put a little less, but I don't want to put too much less that their consistency isn't right. So a little bit of that. That needs refilling. Put that over there, out the way. And the vanilla. So it says half a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm just going to put a whole teaspoon worth roughly of vanilla bean paste. It's about that. Because I do eyeball these sorts of things. Yes, I will watch for the glass jars. Who knows me well? Oh my goodness. Okay, next we're going to, I've fixed this recipe so that it's preset. I'm just going to add another 30 seconds. Another 30 seconds just to blend that through because it is double. So, not the brown. Oh, that's so cool. I have that quite often. Ash, people say they watch and cook while they're cooking. They have their camera on and watching me, or their phone on. Bless you. All right, eggs. Now, I always say, crack your eggs independently of your bowl, just in case a little bit of shell ends up in there, and then you've got to try and dig it out. That's a really not good task for anybody. Beautiful. Wash that. Don't need the bay leaves now. What you do need is paprika and some pimento for our stroganoff coming up. And coffee. It's like having someone in the kitchen chatting to you. Isn't that cute? And I'm the opposite. I'm the weirdo in the kitchen talking to herself. Opa. Yeah. That's Dutch for Grandpa. Okay. Next we're going to have it running and then add the eggs through here. And again, I'm going to add a little extra time because I'm doubling it. Back in your bed. Oh, I really like my new wall. Look, for anyone who's just joined, I'll flip you around. My husband's just done this delightful job of wallpapering this plain wall in our dining area with my new little dining table from IKEA. Look there. It's very cool. He's very clever. Okay, flour. So we want double that. 520. Oh, someone needs some self-raising flour. We'll put that on the list. That's it. And then some salt. Now I did have to use salty butter, so I'll probably put a little less salt, but it's all good. We're going to need that. I'm going to need it a little longer, so I'll do it the full minute. So that just combines that all together. Thought it was Greek. Oh, opa. Oh yeah, opa. Well, that is a Greek word as well, but it's Dutch for grandpa. Opa. Hello, Millsy. How are you? Right, I'm going to put this away before I send it flying off the bench, perhaps. Into my pantry behind us here. That can go away. Don't need the vanilla. We're done with the salt. And no pasting this recipe. Yes. Thank you. I love my wall too. All right. And then, where have I put them? Oh, here. Then it says to stir the chocolate chips through. I do that. I should have put them in already. It needs longer. So I'm just going to push that round. Okay. And add these in here because, you know, if they get a bit broken up, I don't care. Actually, I better have the scales and weigh that in because, you know. Sorry guys, the battery is running low on the iPad. Beep. Alright, hopefully we'll get through to dinner. Otherwise I might have to pause that one and so back here and just knead that again. Stir through the lid. I have doubled this. This is a recipe community recipe. So I've gone a little rogue. That's okay. Where's my middle size bag? That's a good question. Don't mind me over there talking to myself in the corner. I was just thinking, where's the middle one? But it's in the fridge with something in it. So I have to use my giant one. So again, using the bottom of the blades to help get some of that out. Big blobs just come out of there. It's quite a nice dough, this. Now, what I'm going to do is make this into a whole pile of cookie balls and have some frozen. So it's just a matter of grabbing them out and heating them up to cook. It is funny watching the spatula go in circles, isn't it? It's a bit like the spaghetti when you do the spaghetti. All right, I'm just going to whack that up to top speed to flick that off to the side. Come out of there. Finish. So remember, don't go dragging your spatula around the sharp blades. Make sure you whack it out to top speed and it flicks it out to the side so you can get everything from the edge of the bowl rather than on the sharp blades. Come out, come out. And then with this one, what I'll do is I'm pulling it apart to clean it. Now, I think with some doughs, especially this, it's quite, because there's sugar in it, it's quite sticky. So what I would tend to do is to just carefully take the blades out, all right? Carefully. And just get all the bits around as best you can. They're sharp, so be careful, of course. And then I'll pull that one apart to clean it. So that all goes in the dishwasher for me. And then let's get the last that's still stuck down the bottom of the bowl. There you go, pretty much cleaned the bowl out. So that can go straight in here actually. This is pretty much ready to go on. Put the blades up the top, that down the bottom. Can go in there. Stick that little jump down in there. And then we shall turn it on. So now what I do is rest this in the fridge. So these set of 3 bowls from the mix shop are magic. I love them. They are an investment. They're not cheap, but they're really good. Sticks to the bench. They've got the non-slip bottom. So you've got the 3 sizes. This is the massive big one. So I'm just making sure all the chocolate chip dispersion is fair looking as best as I can. Flicked out there, a bit flicked out. All right, and then with its lid, which I didn't get out yet, here. All right, done. Seal in there. Oh, it doesn't want to seal on today. Have I not got it right? Maybe I've got stuff in the way. Well. Okay, well, lid goes on. Right, now it's going. And then into the fridge, that goes to get a bit more firm because it's too soft at the moment to cook. It'll just become big flat pancake cookies, not nice round cookies. In the fridge. The girls are late today. Okay. Oh, hang on a minute. Lid in. Spatula. Done. All right. Now I've checked the pizza dough when I went over there before. It's still very, very firm and hasn't moved much at all because it is cold weather. So not quite anywhere near doubled in size. But that's okay. They're not even home yet. So there's no rush on that. That can sit quietly there and do its thing for now. Do you know what? I think what I'm going to have to do is do a 2-parter. I'm going to have to go away and charge up this iPad because it is about to die. And I don't want to make dinner too early either. So I'm going to say farewell and pop back later on with part 2 of today's lives, making stroganoff. So come back and see me in, what's the time? I reckon probably half an hour. It's Rebecca. I'm back, part 2. So I've just got to start up the other one as well. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, it's Rebecca here. Okay, I'm going live on all 3 devices. This is part 2. The battery was about to die on one of them, so I had to quickly go and have a recharge. Plus, there was a bit of a gap in everything I'm doing anyway. So, we started off, we made the stock, we've done a pizza dough, we've made cookie dough, which is in the fridge firming up so I can scoop that out. We've made, what else did we make? Cookies, veg stock, pizza dough, and yeah. Now we're on to main meal tonight, which is beef stroganoff. But before I do that, so my veggie stock paste has been sitting here just getting a little bit cooler. And what I'm going to do is get it into the jar. So, did you know that your lid acts as a fantastic funnel over most jars? Some of them it might not fit quite as well as others. But it's also a really great way to pour things directly from your bowl into a jar without making a huge big mess. So we rest it on top like so, and then just pour it in. And then if anything's going to spill over, it's going onto the lid, and then you can get that from the lid into the bowl, right? So just a little extra special thing with our Thermomix lid. Now, oh, this smells so good. Again, stock is not... It smells delicious. It does not taste delicious. It is stock, okay? It's a stock paste concentrate. Don't be tempted to eat it, guys. It's salty. Own a Thermomix. Please, please, please make sure it's on the list of things that you always have. If nothing else, make the veggie stock at Coke. Drop something. I got sidetracked because we lost connection over on Instagram. So, let me just clean up my mess that I've just successfully splattered onto the floor because I got distracted and wasn't concentrating on what I was doing. Hello and welcome, by the way. Clumsy girl in the room. Oh, seriously. Look, at least it didn't smash. It wasn't a bad break this time. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Stock paste, must make, can't be friends if you don't. It is a punch of flavour for all your food. When you're making things like pasta sauces, if it says add a teaspoon of salt or more, put this in. No, not rice wine vinegar today. The other tip is you can leave about 2 tablespoons worth in the bowl, just eyeball it. And put a litre of water, swoosh it around at speed 5, and then you will have liquid stock ready for when you need that on hand. Okay? Right, so again, flick off everything off the blades, pop it up to top speed. Now, I would use this bowl if I didn't have to chop something first, right? So if I was making a risotto, for example, I would go straight ahead with that bowl like that and make it. Okay, but I'm going to leave it because I need to chop parsley as the first step of our stroganoff recipe. So there's my huge, massive jar of stock paste, and it's still nice and cuddly and warm. How's my pizza dough looking? It's still looking quite cool. What I might do is just put it adjacent to that nice warm stock and just put a barrier here so I don't smash it onto the floor. There we go. The rice wine vinegar incident, wasn't it just? Alright, so I'm going to be showing off, and consultant life, I'm using 2 machines to do this. So, because we're going to make the mashed potato in one, and then I'm doing the stroganoff in the other. Now, I want to find my mashed potato recipe, which is my go-to, is a lovely Tanya's recipe from Recipe Community called Thermomix No Fail Mashed Potato. Okay, so Google Thermomix No Fail Mashed Potato. You will find this recipe on Recipe Community. If you have a TM6, you can import it and do it on screen, just like guided cooking, only a little different. Alright, so 500 grams of potatoes. Now, I've already got my, I've got stock on there. I've made a good job. Okay, let me grab another cutting board. because we're just going to chop up our potatoes. So, start. No butterfly needed. Place chopped potatoes straight into the bowl with milk. Right? So that's it. Now, I do recommend you cut them into like sixths, an average size potato. Don't have the chunks too big, because the bigger the chunk, the longer the cooking time. Exactly the same as if you were doing it in a pan. It's no different, really. So just keep them sort of, I don't know, about yay size. Yeah? Now I'm missing my other board that's got the onion on it already. So, 500 grams of potatoes, and we're cooking it with milk. And then you add the butter at the end. I love this recipe. It's my go-to for mash. I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to just put a couple more, only because we have extra people eating in the house. And I know the boys love their mashed potato. And I don't peel them. Everyone, just saying, I do not peel my potatoes, okay? And the reason is you don't even see it or notice it at the end, so why bother? If you want to peel them, by all means, go ahead, you do you, as I say. I don't. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more milk, so I did put a little bit more potato in there. Right. Lid on. Oh, hang on, I haven't fixed this recipe properly. 15 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 1. 15 minutes, let's give it 17 and a half. Don't shut down, I'm coming back. 100 degrees. Just put it on smooth. Up that a bit. So that's going to make a little bit of sound in the background, but that's fine. Hopefully it won't affect us hearing it. Hearing me okay? You'll have that in the background. It's not rice, at least it's not going fast. Alright, start cooking on the stroganoff. So, I snuck out to the garden and got parsley. My parsley's looking a little bare, so I need to stop raiding it for a minute. Just chopping that for 3 seconds. And then we're going to pop that aside. That is your garnish, alright? So if you don't want a garnish, if you're not bothered about a garnish, you can skip that step altogether. You don't need to wash the bowl after you do this either. A little bit of parsley in there is fine. And in fact, there have been times where I've thought, I'm just leaving it in there and I'm going to carry on regardless. I'm not even going to take it out. But we'll take it out. We'll show you what it looks like as a garnish, because, you know, I will always say, you eat with your eyes, so make your food look pretty. Okay? So that's all, pretty much all the parsley from my garden. Set aside. So next, 1 brown onion, and it wants approximately 180 grams cut in halves. Now this is a monster onion. So I'm going to hit the 3 dots, I'm going to bring up the scales, and I'm just going to see how much. Yeah, so half of that onion was sufficient. I'm going to chuck another one in because it's onion. Okay, these are flavours that I like plenty of. Alright, chopping up that onion. Speed 5, 3 seconds again. And put the milk away. Alright. So scrape down the sides of your bowl with a spatula. This is what 3 seconds at speed 5 gives you. For anyone that might be new here and you don't know, instead of standing there chopping up onions and having a good cry about it, let the Thermomix do it for you in 3 seconds. And that again is another thing that just never gets old for me. Alright, so scrape that down, and now we're going to saute that with some butter. So you could use oil if you didn't want to use butter, but for me, butter is better. Love it. Alright, and I'm always a little more generous. Bit of paprika. It doesn't say which, so choose. Do you want smoky flavour? I like a sweet, personally. So a tablespoon, and I eyeball this stuff. Now the next ingredient, you can leave it in, take it out, do what you like with it, is cayenne pepper. I'm not a spicy fan. Our family is not really big on the spice, but I'm going to put literally a pinch of it in. Because, you know, it does give it some flavour and some different notes. Alright, then we're going to simmer that with our basket. Here's one I prepared earlier. For 3 minutes. Next we're going to add in the beef fillet cut into strips. So I have done that. Ash, I'm with you, babe. I don't peel very often at all. Even for a potato salad, I don't mind the peel. It doesn't bother me. As long as the potato's clean, I'm all good with it. So, so everyone, this is part 2 of our live from before. We have put our stock into the jar, so I'm just leaving that cool a little bit before I pop it into the fridge. We've got the pizza dough happening here. Oh, she's starting to get a bit bigger now. So this is going to be pizza for the fussy kids. We grated the cheese before we made the dough. So there is a part 1 that will be coming later that you can watch on replay and see if you've just come on now and missed the first. So we need to build this pizza for said child. It's usually just a cheese pizza, however I do have a little bit of ham. So I might ask the question, do we want ham on the pizza today? Might put a butter in there, butter dish. Oh, you know, the clumsiness that is me, I was in Myer the other day. I was gifted a voucher for my birthday from my dad, and I went to have a look and see what I might like to buy, and I couldn't find anything, so I'm hanging on to it for something else. But I did find this, and it was half price, so $10 for a lovely Maxwell Williams butter dish. Now, the remnants of my butter dish are over here holding my soaps and things. That's another thing that got smashed. I can't remember who smashed it. May have been me. But yeah, I'm braving it again. So let's hope this butter dish lasts a little bit longer and better than the last one I had, because that was a disaster. Could have done without that. Anyone else clumsy? I know I've had asked that question. I've had plenty of people say, yeah, me too. Makes me feel slightly better to know I'm not the only one. All right, so pizza tray. I love these pizza trays because they literally, you use them, you wipe them down, and you go again. You don't need to scrub them, you don't need to wash them. They are non-stick and very handy. Alright. So, I was going to ask the question. Let me do that while I'm just playing with the dough. Katie? Katie? Do you want ham on your pizza? Okay. That's easy. No thanks. Alright. That was easy indeed. So it's literally a cheese pizza tonight. Oh, Charlene. Yeah, I'm terrible clumsy. I remember quite a few years ago I lived in Scotland for a while, and I was working in, my dad and his wife had a lovely little cafe called Hot Roast Company in Fort William in Scotland, and I was working for them and with them for a while, and yeah, Dad used to say he was going to have to dock my pay because where the kitchen was, the cafe was typical UK, small, skinny. The kitchen was actually down the stairs, and the amount of times I'd be carrying a tray of stuff and drop it down the stairs. Not good. So eventually I said, look, just don't give me that job. Because I think once I even tripped coming up the stairs with the clean dishes as well. So yeah, I said, just put me on the counter. Let me just be waitress and not have to go with the dishes down the stairs or up the stairs, because I wasn't very good at it. So if anyone has a cafe and they want me to work in it, you don't want me to do that job. All right. So, and of course, the cheese that we grated before the pizza dough. That is my tip. Yes, I know some people take offense to me saying, great, it's a chop, whatever, it's getting melted, I don't care. The cheese is done before you make the dough. Leave some of the cheese in the bowl, make the dough. The cheese flavour will go into the dough. And there's many other things you can do prior to making your dough. Grate up some garlic or use garlic powder, onion powder, so many different things. Right, simple cheese pizza, one happy kid. Hey Siri, can you time 15 minutes? 15 minutes, counting down. All right. So back to the stroganoff, because I heard the ding dong while I was doing that, but let's get the pizza on. All right, so sauteed, lovely. Look at that with that paprika, lovely colour it takes on there, and a bit of that cayenne pepper. So now we're adding in the beef fillet. So I have made this recipe, I'm pretty sure, with the steak that you buy already pre-cut, and it's absolutely fine. But this I have actually treated us. Gone to Aldi, their beef fillet in the big like roast is actually a really good price point. It's $34.99 per kilo, and it actually is a really lovely piece of fillet. So we have visitors, so I don't mind spending that little bit extra or going a little bit extra to make something like this. So yeah. Stairs are a shocker, aren't they? Having the Dutch husband, I've been to Holland many times, and their stairways are like my worst nightmare because they're narrow, the steps are not wide, they're very thin actual steps, and yeah, quite happy to live here in Australia without big fat stairs. So cheese is fussy child approved. Right, so that's a bit of grated cheese for another pizza night. Let me get a lid on that and get that into the fridge. Got a few other things to go in the fridge, and then we're going to, while this is cooking for 10 minutes, I'm going to start getting some cookie dough happening. So this is the beauty of, while you're in the kitchen, be doing multiple things. Save time, save money, etc. So the dough that I made earlier, if you've just jumped on now and you missed the first part, because I took a pause in between to do a bit of a recharge of the phone. We're making chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to get my lovely tray. Where is it? Here. And I'll tell you one thing I will do, because last time I made a big mistake and learned from it. I went, because I always say if the oven's on, fill it up, make heaps of stuff. I went to put the cookies into the oven that had been cooking a pizza. Too hot, they were flat pancakes and really crispy. If you like cookies like that, then do it. We don't. We like them rounder, puffier, yummy. Okay? Now, I thoroughly recommend these little cookie scoops. I just went today to Spotlight and actually picked up a backup just in case it ever dies on me. The little cookie scoops are by Wiltshire from Spotlight. $4 for it. Get yourself a cookie scoop, okay? Because the less heat you put into these cookies, the nicer they're going to be when you cook them. Heat as in rolling it in a ball. So, oh, I think we're back. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Sorry about that. Everyone is home, so the internet, and I do apologise. I wish I could tell my whole family to get off the internet, but highly likely they'll tell me no. Next, butter and carrots. I've lost Instagram again. Facebook, if someone can give me a thumbs up, can you hear me okay? So I've rolled out one tray of cookies. I will stick that back in the fridge because I have the oven on very hot for pizza. Don't have your oven on too hot for your cookies unless you want flat, crispy pancake cookies. We don't like flat, crispy pancakes. We like nice, round, with a bit gooey in the middle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to keep going with this. And these will get frozen in little balls. So you can freeze them already done in little balls. Or roll it out into a log, wrap it up, freeze it for another day. There's many ways you can do it. But I like doing it in the balls because I can literally take them out of the freezer, straight onto a tray, straight into the oven, and they will cook beautifully, even from frozen. And like I say, the less you fuss with this, the better, because if you put too much heat into what is butter here, mostly in a biscuit, it'll make them melt up again. So the less touching, the better, really. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Can hear. Thank you, Megan. You're a darling. Yes, we did go for a bit of a pause there. So I have a lot of people in the house tonight, all on the internet, including me on 3 devices. So it's bound to absolutely just not cope, right? What else making? Let's inspire each other with recipes to try. You're trying something new. I love it. This is an old favourite. It's actually a follower on TikTok that was telling me that they'd made the slow cook version, and I actually went to look at that slow cook version today, and 7 hours, and it was already 12 o'clock, and I went, I can't do that one, so I'll do that another day. Roast sounds lovely, Kat. Nothing wrong with a roast, right? But nothing in the thermo, hey? So if I'm doing a roast, I would be steaming veg in my Thermomix, generally speaking, because we still will have some greens of some description, probably usually beans, because they're my favourite. So I'd be steaming those, maybe some broccolini. There's some beautiful side dishes that use the aroma. One of them is the potato with the parsley pesto. That's a really lovely one. Potato beans and parsley pesto, I think it's called from memory. Really good. Schnitty, love a schnitty. That's something I haven't done for a while, is it? Do my schnitties. Love it. Pumpkin soup, love. And you grew the pumpkin. Oh, even better. And sweeter. Jealous. I love going to visit my dad out at Stanthorpe because I love that people are selling their pumpkins on the side of the road and you just grab them and they're the best pumpkins in the world and they last and last. Alright, what have we got? Oh, the potatoes. They're done. They're singing to me. Right, the other thing I'm supposed to be doing is steaming my my beans. Alright, so I'm nearly build up all this cookie dough. So what I'm going to do with this is stick this in my big freezer and let them freeze in that shape. It's a bit there, I'm going to add to that one. Freeze them in that shape. Willow! I don't want the cats in here. Oh, it was all nice and quiet, wasn't it? Alright, get that bit out. Don't want to waste it. Stick it on top of one of those. Alright, wash my hands. Willow! Oh, let me just let her out. Hey! Shh! Shh! Very noisy. Alright, so let me whisk these away to the freezer to get them nice and solid, ready to go into a container so that they don't stick together. Is the tip there. I'm going to cook is in the fridge. Now, let me have a look at my potatoes. Oh, perfect. Right, move that out of the way. So at this stage, this is what my potatoes look like, okay? And now we're going to add the butter. Use that bit of butter I threw in there, hey? How much butter again? 5 grams. Oh, there's a bit of parsley, that's going to end up in there. Alright, now this is important. It says do not over whip. Alright, so a maximum of 20 to 30 seconds on speed 3. So I'm just going to go to speed 3 and then I'm going to eyeball it. And that's about 19 seconds exactly. All right, now, and the smell is just magnificent. Anyone that knows me knows I'm not a fan of fungi. However, I love the flavour and I'm happy to pick it out. So it does say to quarter the mushrooms. I halve them because it makes them easier to find them. You know, just like that. Look, if I ate a little bit, it's not going to kill me. It's that rubbery texture. I just can't quite do it. It's not my favourite thing. But like I say, there's people in my house who love it, so we will leave them in. Alright. And of course, if you really are like me, and if I was making this for myself, you can actually blitz them up to start with so that they're not bits. Could do that. I don't know, because you know, it's not just me eating it. So those that like mushroom in my house like it when I cook with it. So. Alright. Now it says 200 grams. I've got 3 left. I'm not going to waste them. I'm just going to throw them in. Admiring your handiwork. What's wrong? Oh, good. You cleaned your room? Mm-hmm. Alright. Tomato paste.
Apparently the photo they used to like find him was like really old.
I love it when your teenage daughter comes out in the room and you think she's talking to you and then you realise, oh God, here she goes again. That she's got her ear things in. She's not talking to me at all. Now I'm doubling this because I'm at the bottom of the jar and I like tomato paste flavour. Again, flavour. As it is, it's lovely, trust me, but I'm sure there's water in this, so I'm going to put a little bit of water in there. White wine, thank you for the flight that I had down to Adelaide and on Qantas. Because I'm not a big wine drinker anymore. I used to like a glass of wine, but it just doesn't sit well with me anymore. So pizza is done. Done, baby. Perfection on the pizza. Now turn the oven down for the cookies and I'll put them in after dinner once it has cooled down a bit significantly. Oh, I've wasted a bit of wine that's in there. Messing up my beautiful black Thermomix. Alright, hang on. Just hang on, Willow, we'll let you back in. Daddy will come. Can you let her back in the water? Please. Oh, it's Emily. Okay, here we want our stock paste. So I've got the last of this jar here. And corn flour, Dijon mustard, sauerkraut. Okay, so we're not putting any water in. My bad. It's been a while since I made it. All right, so the wine's gone in. Now we want a tablespoon of stock. So I'll just get every last bit out of this jar that I can. And really, if a little bit of water went in there, I don't think it's going to hurt it, is it? Let's just do it. Yeah, you can leave the wine out if you're not a wine drinker, sure. Tiny bit of apple cider vinegar and water, if you want to. Corn flour. Now the other thing I need to do is get that potato out. And a tablespoon, so I'm just doing a heaped teaspoon and a bit. Dijon. I had to go and buy a small jar from Aldi because I haven't got to Costco yet. For my big jar. Generous with that. That's yum. And sour cream. I'm just using up what's left in there. It's a little more, that's fine. I always say, because sometimes people, especially if they're new to Thermomix, they get a bit freaked out about the scales being so precise and being a little over and under. We would always have been that with our older models. It's fine. It works fine. All right, jars to recycle. Now, mashed potato. Mashed potato, mashed potato. That's going to go into my thermo server to keep warm. So my little 1 litre server will fit that just. Katie, your pizza's ready. Pizza looks amazing. It does blow my mind that years ago I would have paid whatever for that, and now I just make it so easily. And you know, that is the most delicious pizza when it's homemade. It is fantastic, honestly. Pizza night for me was worth the Thermomix all up. Look at that. Perfect. And you have, yes, she needs to get it. But anyway. Alright, so mashed potato, mashed potato. Out she goes. So look at that, lovely, perfect. It is absolutely spot on.
The chair is cold.
You need a cushion. We didn't get cushions. I'll have a look around for some cushions for the chairs. Now, what I'm going to do is the beans don't need that long steaming. That's still got 7 minutes on. Is add water to my bowl where I've got the mashed potato out of. Hey, turn that down, please. I'm on. Come out of here. Put the beans on. Just stick it on for 10 minutes for aroma. Speed 3. Let's get them cooked. So now, for the person asking you don't peel them, the peel sometimes will do this. You know, if you want to pick those bits out, by all means, leave them out. But look at that. Beautiful, lovely mashed potato. So no fail mashed potato recipe community. Import it to your TM6. We'll pick a few bits of skin out. We'll cook our beans, finish our stroganoff. We've made our stock earlier. We've put that in a jar. We've got the cookies ready for the oven. Cookies in the freezer, getting nice and firm so that I can put those in a bag or a container and keep that for when we run out to re-cook very quickly. Pizza's done and dusted. So, guys, I'm going to end my little live there. And for Instagram, I will come back and share this later with a picture of everything. I'll try and get a picture of everything. Maybe it'll be a picture of dinner, but we might need a different picture for earlier on. Like a jar of stock. That's what we'll do. All right, thanks for joining, and I'll catch you.
And also from my live, here is the batch that I did cook of cookies. And here's all the frozen little balls of cookie dough ready for when the jar is needing restocking. So that'll go back in the freezer. And remember what I said, don't muck around with the dough. You get these lovely, beautiful, they're still very warm from the oven, round shaped cookies, not big flat pancakes. They're just delicious. They've got a bit of depth to them and a little bit of a gooiness to the middle. We love them. So thanks everyone who joined my live. Hope you enjoyed it. And remember, I'm always here. If you need anything, reach out.